Ciao ragazzi, hi guys, welcome back to another video. Zamo here with the Labo Boys. I'm here with the pizza on the counter with the Zamo sign. How you doing? In today's video, we're gonna talk about our legacy. Is our legacy still the best brand in the world? Is our legacy still relevant? We're gonna take a look at Fall Winter 25, their collection, my favorite piece in general. I'm gonna discuss my collection, and we're gonna talk about a few highlights, like for example the sport running our legacy selection that they just dropped. Grab a tea, grab a sparkling water, and let's get into it. Let's talk our legacy. By the way, guys, if you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to like the video, drop a follow. It really means the world to us. Super fun. We have a community together. It's called the Spaghetti Army. Every week we have short videos on the channel, feed check, advice, community talking about things, long video every Sunday. So thank you again for liking and following. It really means the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today I'm wearing my Our Legacy combo. I have a leather jacket, really like a leather blouson, and I have like a checker shirt. This is because I wanted you and myself to get into the world of Our Legacy. I have made a more general broad video on Our Legacy here, in which I discuss the brand itself, the history, how I got exposed to it, and my beginning with the brand. Our Legacy is one of the brands of the decade, more than 10 years old, originally from Sweden, and their focus, from what my understanding is on curated minimal pieces. They do actually have something that's subversive, something that's punk, and something that's unique. The focus is not on strong branding, but is focusing on quality, is focusing on editorial, and is focusing on mismatching, so having like a strong jacket with a cooler denim and having staples that don't scream brand, but they're actually all about this narrative. I think the overall cut of the brand is really Scandinavian, really Swedish, but really modern and really appeals to me. So I'm really happy to have discovered the brand and be able to collect it. As I mentioned, it's all about elevated essentials, it's all about edgy classics, it's all about not reinventing the wheel but defining how men's wear, moving away from brands. Of course, there are a lot of micro brands, but Our Legacy is really a brand that I like. I would describe it as post-punk, office goth, meets elevated streetwear, meets comfort, meets passion, meets fun projects. Overall, Our Legacy really focus on classics. Just to give you a brief introduction, they have standard shapes that they bring back. For example, one of the classic is the Our Legacy mini jacket. We have darker tones, we have very good denims, especially the third cut flagship model of denim. The Our Legacy camion boot, really cool boots. I talk more about the boot here. Really nice, really sleek. My favorite part about Our Legacy, which is accessories. So you have the use of silver, the use of studs, and always reimagining that in a very, very cool way. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the Fall Winter 25. We're just gonna look at it together. We're gonna talk about Our Legacy Sports, sort of like their workshop, about my favorite models, and then about my collection. So let's go, let's talk about Our Legacy. We can see Fall Winter 25, of course, as I mentioned, Fall Winter 25 and overall Our Legacy is really focused on basic pieces and is more about the qualities, the details, the styling and the pairing than actually the innovation itself on the garments. There's a strong focus on knitwear that we can find in colors as black, as green. Strong use of silver and leather for the bracelets. I personally have this one just with the studs, but I like the one with spikes. And in general, a thing that I would recommend everyone is like, hey, get inspired by Our Legacy. You can always find an alternative, you can find your own brand, but Our Legacy for me is more like of an aesthetic, it's more like an inspiration. Be like, hey, just pair a pair of boots with the darker denim, with a leather jacket. Doesn't need to be the brand itself, but it can be building towards the brand and just be inspired by the aesthetic. Our Legacy used to be affordable more in the past, especially certain pieces. So you can go on second-hand platform and find steals. So don't be afraid to do that. Fall Winter 25, we have the trench, long coats, again, really nice double-breasted, still strong use of leather. Another interesting pair of footwear. I would say that Our Legacy is really trying to push footwear, is one of the categories that I find more interesting, and they're still interesting. Leather bomber, we have some shorts in this red, high engine boots. So as I said, Our Legacy camion boots is really their flagship, the thing they're known the most for. They are trying to develop different versions. For example, the engine boot in this version that's a bit higher, beautiful casino jacket, strong red, third cut denim. So you can see slightly oversized silhouettes, classic garments, minimal branding, organic and flowing together. You can see how, for example, the third cut is a lovely straight leg pair of denims with some details to it, that can be physical, that can be applied. We have some stronger knitwear, beautiful elements, for example, the lift key holder, and I love the shirts. The one I'm wearing is strongly inspired by this aesthetic, and I think that you can't really go wrong with having like a darker checker shirt, striped shirt. What our legacy is communicating to me is really, being proud of the basics and just be able to combine things. I have not seen in real life their leather products in terms of bags, but I'm also really curious. More knitwear, again, you can really see how the whole set is conceived as a mood board. Is really unisex, is a bit sleek, darker colors, but I love how everything it's timeless, I would dare call it. This could be a lookbook from the 1990s. There is elements, there is a strong use of silver, which probably you guys know is my favorite material. You have some points of colors. For example, the borrowed shirt comes from this like nice idea of, you borrow the shirt from your partner and it's a bit oversized. Play with leather, belts. Also, our legacy are very popular. We have like bracelets, and then of course going towards more like V-neck sneakers that look like shirts. And his jacket, for example, his jacket is a super cool jacket. This is a direct reference to like the 1940s, 1950s US Navy deck jackets. Full color, nice and cropped, really works with my styles. Like the Shuka boots, like the gloves. Curious to getting a pair in black, so those are also super, super nice. We can see some other classic bombers. I'm not saying buy our legacy right now. I'm just saying keep an eye on them, keep an eye on their activation, and then when you are able to find something in real world, vintage, for example, go get that and recreate the fit your own way, making your own personal twist. Beautiful cast silver elements, beautiful, beautiful puffers, beautiful elements. Look, for example, at the gloves in this specific styling. Solid fall winter 25 from our legacy that keeps being constant, keeps introducing outerwear, keeps introducing shirts. After having seen this collection as strong, I want to talk about the second point of this video, which is our legacy sport. So one of the founder of our legacy, Jokum, really into running. So something that I really respect about our legacy is the fact that they're not afraid of just doing something else. This is why they have their legacy workshop. Our legacy workshop is their parallel projects in which they do whatever they want. They can do furniture, they can sell used products, the collaboration with Stussy, with Armani, for example. And in this case, yesterday, our legacy workshop just dropped the running line, jackets, shorts, and fleeces, caps, etc., all focused on the world of running. I really respect how a brand that's so established is still able to say, you know what, the founder loves running, I'm just gonna do running, This is really hard to see a brand that does that. I personally love the colors, strong use of brown. My personal favorite pieces are the waffle long sleeve and also the sport half zip. I might copy it. It's pretty expensive, I have to confess. Nice black, of course, easier, cleaner, but also challenge orange, some hoodies and some caps. Waffle technique to it in brown, especially with the workshop logo. This I think can be aspirational for any of us who works in the world of fashion. You can really take your hats off and be like, you know what, this is actually so cool that our legacy is doing this. Taking a passion of theirs, passion of somebody, that our legacy, drop some cool merch, cool pieces, regardless of what the brand identity is, regardless of everything. Very punk, I really like it, and I would say, yeah, personal favorite, probably the sport half zip in brown. Please let me know in the comments, by the way, what do you think about this if you didn't know. Now we're just gonna talk about my personal favorite pieces overall. I have to say that when I'm thinking about our legacy, I'm thinking about accessories. Start with a simple fit and accessorize. And for me, this is really like the go-to page. There are legacy accessories for autumn, for winter, strong use of bracelets, for example, with nice elements, like for example, the one I'm wearing, as I mentioned before, the tie, belts, super cool gloves. You see, for example, here, gloves with a ring, just like a mood board for me to look at them. But overall, I would say in general, silver and leather accessories for me, favorite category at their legacy. I'm not a huge fan of their sunglasses yet. Gloves are super strong, bracelets, loops, etc. You can find them often on discount, maybe on Essence, on something else, or you can just go to your custom jeweler. Like, it doesn't need to be crazy, but super, super, super strong offering. I would like probably this winter to maybe go a little bit more the scarf that could be, or the bags, just to see if it's legit. Super strong proposition with different colors, with leather burgundy, classic leather. My current two favorites from this subcategory, which is my favorite, are the barbed wire necklace. This is super strong. Unfortunately, I'm afraid I think it's sold out. And the shoe on keyring. You need to slip on your shoes. You're good to go. You can just hop on with your keychain. That's genius. Then, if you're talking about other categories that I really looking up to, for me, I would say is two. One is outerwear and denims. If you're looking at outerwear, there is one jacket to rule them all, which is the Our Legacy Mini. This is available in a cotton version, and this is available in a leather version. Classic, clean, workwear inspired crop jacket with minimal detailing, silver hardware, and just run with it. It is very simple idea, but it's genius. Like the mini jacket is incredibly expensive, but it's incredibly iconic and really teaches you how and what to look for in a leather jacket. I was personally coming in from like more branded leather jacket preference, you know, coming for example from the off-white days, from the fading, etc. And instead you see and you look at something like the mini jacket and you're like, okay, two of these, you know. It's overall like a great product. It's a timeless product. The leather looks stiff. Is really like a blouson setup, but I really like it. I have to say that this is something that's really iconic for me and that really defines the brand. In general, otherwise, a lot of jackets are nice. I really like the Ace, as I mentioned, like really like a reference to that word. Also, the slide is cool. I'm more of a crop jacket kind of guy, but of course, if you want trench coats, it's all yours. The Avenue puffer is also really nice. So there is a lot for everyone, different colorways, and I think that another lesson from our legacy could be, hey, why don't you play with a darker tone, and then you had the cool touch of gray, touch of red, depending on the day. So this is also something super helpful for me. I think that looking at brands also needs to be looking at what inspires you. So super nice. And then to wrap the video up and this selection up, I'm gonna talk about my favorite trousers. Their Legacy third cut is really regular straight, and that's the one that they've been using to rule them all. They have been super innovative with the digital denim, so the digi denim print, super strong, multiple variants, simple, but it's really defining the genre. For example, the new third cut, they have like this chain twill section, so they basically look striped, super nice, super solid. So overall, very nice. And then to wrap it up, shoes at the forefront of reintroducing leather wear footwear like 5 years ago, something like that. They were one of the first few brands that really started pushing mules, they really started pushing boots. And of course, this you can see in the coming boot, super solid. Another personal favorite of mine is the mules. These also are very sleek. I am not a fan of most of the rest of the offering, but simply because I don't think those are like so strong or so leading. They're really trying. I also really like the Nauto clock, you know, inspired by the Nordics clock with the hammer nails at the front. This is what I like, this is what I love. This was just a quick update on what has been going on with our legacy. What I think about it is still relevant. My personal answer is yes. I don't think that our legacy is anymore so at the forefront, so genre defining as it used to be before. I think now the attention has switched to other brands, but I think that's also good in the sense that our legacy was never about being the coolest brand, but it was also always about like, if you know, you know kind of approach. So I keep on looking at them. I recommend you do the same. Get inspired, use it as a mood board, use it as what you want to look on in use platform, get inspired, be able to build your own personal style. I think it's nice to look at brands, take some ideas and run with it, especially for jewelry, for accessoring, for building. I really like the word and the editorials that they do, so this is what in the end is really relevant for me. I show with you my favorite pieces. Please let me know in the comment if you know anything about our legacy, if you're a big fan, if you don't give a fuck. It's really important to me. Otherwise, guys, drink plenty of water, wear a scarf, have a beautiful day, have a beautiful weekend. I love you. Bye.